In the small town of Grayford, nothing ever really happened. It was the kind of place where people forgot to lock their doors, where the loudest sound at night was usually a dog barking or a train passing far away. For Emma Carter, a 24-year-old college student who had just moved back after her mother's death, Grayford felt painfully quiet. She lived alone now in her childhood house. The house was old, 2 stories, with creaky wooden floors and a long hallway that always felt darker than it should. After the funeral, Emma decided to stay there for a while, to sort through her mother's things and decide what to do with the place. The first week passed normally. Then, one night, Emma heard footsteps. She was lying in bed, scrolling on her phone, when she heard it. Slow, heavy, coming from downstairs. Thump, thump, thump. Her heart started beating faster. Probably the house settling, she whispered to herself. But the footsteps didn't stop. They reached the stairs. And then they started climbing. Emma sat up in bed, holding her breath. The steps were too clear to be the house. Someone was walking up. She grabbed her phone and turned on the flashlight. The light shook in her hand as she pointed it toward the door. The footsteps stopped. Silence. Then she heard a soft knock. 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 "Who is it?" she asked, her voice barely steady. No answer. She slowly opened the door. The hallway was empty. No one. She checked the stairs. Empty. She checked the front door. Locked. That night, she barely slept. The next morning, she told her neighbor, Mrs. Collins, an old woman who had known her since childhood. "Probably rats," Mrs. Collins said. "This house is old." "They sounded like footsteps," Emma replied. Mrs. Collins laughed. "Old houses make all kinds of noises, dear." Emma tried to believe her. But the second night, it happened again. This time, she was awake. She was sitting in the living room watching TV when she felt it. The air changed. It became cold. Very cold. Then she heard a chair move behind her. She turned around quickly. Nothing. But the chair near the dining table was pulled out. Her stomach tightened. "Hello?" she called. No reply. Then she heard a voice. Soft. Right behind her. "Emma." She spun around. No one. Her heart was pounding so hard she thought she would faint. She ran outside and stood on the porch for almost an hour. When she finally went back in, everything was quiet. Too quiet. The next day, she called her friend Jake. "You need to stay here tonight," she said. "Something is wrong with this house." Jake laughed. "You're just stressed, but fine, I'll come." That night, Jake slept on the couch. Emma stayed in her room. At around 2:17 a.m., she heard it again. Footsteps. Coming upstairs. She rushed out of her room and went to the stairs. "Jake?" she whispered. No answer. She went downstairs. Jake was still sleeping on the couch. The TV was off. The lights were off. The house was dark. "Did you walk around just now?" she asked. Jake opened one eye. "What? No? But I heard..." She stopped. Because behind Jake, near the kitchen door, someone was standing. A man. Tall. Thin. Wearing dark clothes. His face was wrong. Too pale. Too empty. His eyes were black. Emma screamed. "Jake, behind you!" Jake jumped up and turned around. "Behind me? What are you talking about?" "The man!" she shouted. "He's right there!" Jake looked confused. "There's no one there, Emma." The man slowly smiled. And then he disappeared. Emma started crying. Jake checked the whole house. Nothing. "No one is here," he said. "You're seeing things." But Emma knew. She wasn't. After that night, the visitor started coming every night. Sometimes he stood in the hallway. Sometimes at the foot of her bed. Sometimes in the corner of the room, watching her. He never spoke. He just watched. And smiled. Emma tried to take pictures. Nothing appeared. She recorded videos. Nothing. No one else could see him. Only her. She stopped sleeping. She stopped eating. Her eyes became dark and tired. Finally, she went to a doctor. "You're hallucinating because of stress and grief," he said. "Your mother's death affected you deeply." "But he's real," Emma whispered. The doctor gave her pills. They didn't help. The visitor still came. One night, Emma gathered her courage. "What do you want?" she asked, staring at the dark corner of her room. Slowly, the visitor stepped forward. For the first time, he spoke. "You invited me." "I never did," Emma said.
He tilted his head. Your mother did. Emma froze. What do you mean? He smiled wider. She was lonely, just like you. Her heart started pounding. What did you do to her? Emma asked. I kept her company, he said softly, until she couldn't tell what was real anymore. Emma remembered something. Her mother used to talk to someone in the house, someone Emma never saw. She thought it was just imagination. Until now. She tried to leave, the visitor continued. But once you see me, you can't forget me. What are you? Emma whispered. I am what stays, he said. The next morning, Mrs. Collins noticed that Emma's lights were still on. She knocked. No answer. She called the police. They broke the door. Emma was sitting on the bed, staring at the wall, not blinking, not moving, alive. But her mind was gone. In the corner of the room, there were footprints, but only one set. Emma was taken to a hospital. Doctors said she had a complete mental breakdown. She kept whispering one sentence. He's still here. He's still here. No one ever saw anything strange in the house. The house was sold. A new family moved in. A mother, a father, and a little girl. The first night, the little girl looked into the dark hallway and said, Mommy, who is that man standing there?
The little girl's voice echoed in the hallway. Mommy, who is that man standing there? Her mother, Sarah Miller, was in the kitchen unpacking boxes. She smiled. There is no man, sweetheart. You're probably tired. But the girl, Lily, didn't move. She was still staring at the dark hallway. He's very tall, Lily said softly, and he's smiling. Sarah felt a strange chill run down her spine. She walked over and looked. The hallway was empty. See, nothing there, she said. But Lily slowly shook her head. He doesn't like when you look at him. That night, Lily had nightmares. She woke up screaming. There was a man in my room, she cried. He was watching me sleep. Her father, Mark, checked every corner of the house. Nothing. It's a new house, he said. She's just scared. But Lily knew. She had seen him. Across town, in a mental hospital room, Emma Carter suddenly sat up in bed. Her heart was racing. She whispered, He found someone else. The nurse ran in. Emma, what's wrong? He's not alone anymore, Emma said, tears in her eyes. Back in the house, strange things started happening. Toys moved by themselves. Doors opened at night. Footsteps could be heard in the hallway. But whenever Sarah or Mark checked, there was nothing. Only Lily could see the visitor. One night, Lily was sitting on her bed, talking to someone. Why do you stand there? She asked. Silence. Then she nodded. Okay. Her mother heard her. Who are you talking to, Lily? The man, Lily replied. Sarah felt cold. There is no man, Lily. Lily looked at her mother. Yes, there is. He says he used to live here. The next day, Sarah found something strange in the storage room. An old box. Inside it were photos. Old photos of a young woman. Emma. And her mother. And a tall, dark shape in the background of many pictures. Always behind them. Always blurry. Sarah felt her hand shaking. Mark, come here. Mark looked at the photos. That's creepy, he said. Probably camera errors. But Sarah wasn't convinced. That night, she searched the house history online. And she found it. Emma Carter. Mental hospital. Mental breakdown. House previous owner. Her blood ran cold. That same night, Lily walked into her parents' room. He wants me to come with him, she said. Sarah sat up quickly. Who wants you to come with him? The man. He says he's lonely. Mark turned on the light. Lily, listen to me. There is no man. Lily started crying. But he's right there. She pointed at the corner. Sarah looked. Nothing. But the air was suddenly freezing. At the hospital, Emma started screaming. He's taking her. He's taking her like he took my mother. Doctors tried to calm her down. She kept repeating, You can't let him keep her. He can't be alone. Back at the house, Lily stopped talking. She stopped playing. She just sat and stared at the hallway. Sometimes she smiled. Sometimes she whispered. One night, Sarah followed her quietly. She saw Lily standing in front of the guest room, talking to the empty air. Yes, Lily said. I'll come tomorrow night. Sarah's heart almost stopped.
Sarah and Mark decided to leave the house. Just for a few days. They started packing. That night was their last night there. At 2:17 a.m., footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Coming down the hallway. Sarah woke up. She felt it. The cold. Mark sat up. Do you hear that? The bedroom door slowly opened. Lily was standing there, smiling. He's here, she said. Behind her, the air looked darker, like a shadow standing in human shape. Sarah grabbed Lily. No, you're not going anywhere. The temperature dropped. The lights started flickering. Then, a voice filled the room. Calm. Cold. She agreed. Mark shouted, "Get out of our house." The shadow moved. Closer and closer. Lily started crying. He's hurting my head. Sarah held her tightly. Go away, she screamed. Suddenly, everything stopped. The lights came back. The cold disappeared. The shadow was gone. Lily fainted in her arms. The next morning, they left the house forever. They didn't even take everything. They just left. At the hospital, Emma smiled for the first time in months. He failed, she whispered. He's still alone. The nurse asked, Who, Emma? But Emma just looked at the corner of the room, and her smile slowly faded, because the corner was no longer empty.